Hello students. In my earlier lecture, we have acquired some knowledge about the basics of the signals and systems, like classifications of signals as well as the systems, and the frequency domain analysis and its utility, as well as the advantages of frequency domain analysis. Now, we have this at this point we have understood that in the real world generally we deal with the signals which are actually functions of time. That means the signals like xt, yt, zt, etc. in the continuous time domain, and xn, yn, zn, etc. in the discrete time domain. Now in this class or in this lecture, I shall elaborate the details of the continuous time signals as well as systems. At first, let us discuss about some standard signals. Now, standard signals are nothing but the elementary signals. Let me first clarify that. Elementary signals means the signals by which you can mathematically represent any other arbitrary continuous time signals. Okay. So elementary signals are the basic or standard signals. By using the mathematical forms of those elementary signals, you can mathematically represent any other arbitrary continuous time signals. Now let us start with the standard continuous time signals. In this category, the first kind of signal is the impulse signal. Let me tell you that impulse signals are generally denoted by delta t. Now let me first draw the sketch or the waveform of the standard impulse signal. Impulse signals are actually single valued signal. Let me draw the axis first. It is the delta t and it is the t axis. It is the t equal to 0, that means the starting of time. Now impulse signals means it should have a value at a particular time instant and all other time instants will have 0 value. Suppose in this case impulse signal is placed at the t equal to 0th instant. That means it has a value like this. Suppose this is the value up to which impulse signal is there. It is your impulse signal delta t. It is situated at t equal to 0 and all other t values, whether t equal to negative or t equal to positive values, all time instants have the 0 delta t value. So how can you mathematically represent it? You can mathematically represent it. Delta t should be equal to infinity. Let me tell you that its amplitude is infinity. Okay, for t is equal to 0, but it should be equal to 0 for all other t's not equal to 0. That means it is a single valued signal. It only has the value at t equal to 0, which value is equal to infinity, and all other t values, whether it is positive values of t or negative values of t, it has the value of 0. So it is equation number 1. And another thing is that though the amplitude of the impulse signal is infinity, it is infinity valued signal, but its duration is 0. Duration means for how much time period signal exists. See that it is a single valued signal and it exists for only a single time instant, that is t equal to 0. That means its time duration is 0. So its amplitude is infinity, time duration is 0. But one condition is there, the area under the curve. That means this particular signal should have a area of a finite value. The finite value is a. Suppose a is any value. Okay. So three conditions are there. One is its its amplitude should be infinity at t equal to some instant, suppose it is 0, and for all other instants it should have 0 value, but the area under the curve of this particular signal should be finite. It is here, it is equal to a, it is any value. Okay, now let me tell you what is unit impulse signal. Unit impulse signal means where area under the curve is equal to 1, unity. Okay, so let me just mathematically write down this signal. It should have the same definition like the earlier one. That means it should be equal to 0 at t equal to 0. It should be equal, sorry, it should be equal to infinity at t equal to 0, and 0 for all other t values, and it should have an area of unity. If it is the case, then it is called the unit impulse signal. Okay, so it is the impulse signal. Next I am going to the next kind of standard signal. Next standard signal is the step signal. It is another very important signal. Step signal. Now first let me draw the step signal. Suppose step signal is denoted by xt, which is the time axis starting from 0. Step signal would be like that. It should have a constant amplitude, suppose it is a, starting from t equal to 0 up to t tending to infinity. Okay, but in the negative t axis its value should be equal to 0. So mathematically you can write xt should be equal to a is the value of the signal or the amplitude of the signal for t greater or equal to 0, and it should be equal to 0 for all t values less than 0. So it is the definition of step signal. Now a special case, step signal is called the unit step signal only when its amplitude is equal to 1. That means unit step signal, simply you can draw the unit step signal like this, starting from 0. Unit step signal is denoted by ut. Remember, its amplitude should be equal to 1 always. So ut, that is the unit step signal, should be equal to 1 for all t greater or equal to 0, and it should be equal to 0 for t less than 0. It is the definition of step signal. These are the definitions of step signal. It is the general case and it is the special case, unit step signal. Next is the ramp signal. Ramp signal is another very important standard signal. I am just drawing the ramp signal. Time axis, suppose ramp signal is xt. Ramp signal starts from 0 and it is a simple straight line passing through the origin. Okay, and its slope, that is the dxt by dt, its slope should be equal to have a finite positive value or negative value, whatever. Its slope is equal to a, suppose. Okay, so how can you write mathematically this signal? This signal can be written as xt equal to a is the slope t, that is the y equal to mx kind of graph, for t greater or equal to 0. That means for all positive t values it should have this kind of curve, and for negative t values it should have 0 values. Okay, so it is the ramp signal, general ramp signal. And similarly, like the earlier one, if the a value, that means if the slope of this straight line is equal to 1, then it is called the unit ramp signal. Unit ramp signal. For that case, simply this ramp signal, unit ramp signal, is denoted by RT generally. It should have the slope of unity, and RT can be written as equal to t, here a equal to 1 for t greater or equal to 0 and 0 for t less than 0. So it is the ramp signal. It is the conception of the ramp signal. Now I am going to the next standard signal, higher order standard signal, that is the parabolic signal. Number 4. Let me draw the curve of the sketch of the parabolic signal. Suppose it is xt. It should have the curvature of a parabola like this. You know that what is parabola? It is the curvature of parabola, and mathematically you can represent this xt or parabolic signal as at square by 2 for all t greater or equal to 0, and it should be equal to 0 for t less than 0. Simple. So this is nothing but a parabolic curve. And similarly, like the earlier ones, if this a value is equal to 1, then it is called the unit parabolic signal. And generally the unit parabolic signal is denoted by p. For this case it would be equal to t square by 2, since a is equal to 1 for t greater or equal to 0 and 0 for t less than 0. So it is all about the parabolic signal. Next I am going to the next kind of signal. It is a bit complex. Unit pulse signal. It is not impulse signal, it is pulse signal. Impulse means, remember, necessarily impulse means it should have very large amplitude but very short duration. Ideally impulse should have amplitude tending to infinity, duration tending to 0, as I mentioned in the impulse signals definition. But pulse signal is a practical kind of pulse signal. That means where amplitude should be there but it is finite, and also duration should be also finite. That means unlike the impulse case, amplitude was infinity, but for the pulse case it should be finite, and for impulse case duration was 0. In case of the pulse signal, duration should be some finite value, not 0, okay, greater than 0. Now let me draw the pulse signal t, and pulse signal is generally denoted by capital pi. Okay, pulse signal is like that. It should have constant amplitude in between two different time instants. It is starting at minus half second, suppose, and it is ending at plus half second. Okay, now how can you mathematically define this unit pulse signal? By using some standard signal, that means which have already been taught within this class. Now see that which particular signal has the similar nature like the pulse signal. First of all, it has the nature of impulse, but thing is that for the impulse duration was 0, amplitude was infinite, but in this case amplitude is finite and duration is also finite. But this constant amplitude, this is just similar to the step signal, is not it? It is. Now in this case let me tell you that since it is the unit pulse signal, so its amplitude should be 1. Okay, so you should not worry about the scaling of the amplitude, it should be 1. You multiply anything with that, you will obtain the different amplitude. Okay, so how can you first try to draw this particular unit pulse signal by means of some other standard signal? Let me use, or let me try with the step signal. Okay, unit step signal. What was unit step signal? Unit step signal was like that. It was ut t axis. It was started at t equal to 0 and ended at t tending to infinity. It has a value of 1. Okay, definition was ut equal to 1 for all t's greater than or equal to 0, and equal to 0 for all t's less than 0. Okay, before going to this step signal, let me clarify two very important things. First thing, let me consider this t equal to 0 instant as your present. Suppose you are doing some job at present, you are at t equal to 0. Okay, I'm trying to clarify what are the time instants in case of the signals. T equal to 0 is the origin. Actually, I am considering it is the reference time, that is at it is your present. Okay, now if the t equal to 0 is present, then tell me t equal to minus half, that means some time earlier, is not it? It is some time earlier. So what is that? What about this instant? This instant is nothing but past. It is nothing but past, and it is 0.5 second or half second earlier than the present. Present is t equal to 0, minus half means half second earlier than the present. That means it is the past. Okay, and t equal to half, this instant, what about this instant? Obviously it will be future. T equal to half means after half seconds. So you can say t equal to half is nothing but the future. So if I give you some example that will give you some clarified knowledge about this. Suppose suppose I have declared a Viva Voce examination. Okay, at some particular date. Suppose this particular date is today, that is the 31st August. Now in order to give good Viva in this examination, you have to prepare for it. Okay, you have to prepare for it. So now if you started your preparation, suppose at 20th August, and ended your preparation suppose on 30th August. Okay, so that means your Viva date is 31st. You have started your preparation from 20th August. You have ended your preparation. Suppose you have taken the preparation throughout equally and ended at on 30th August. Okay, so after getting this preparation, if I take the Viva on 31st August, your Viva Voce examination, there is a high probability that you will give good Viva. Okay, that means you have to prepare yourself earlier than your Viva date. If you consider the Viva date is at 31st August, then your preparation should be in advance to that. That means this particular time period is advance of the present time period. If I say it is the present day, then your preparation was in advance of the present day. Okay, so that's why any past event is called the time advancement. That means you are doing something in advance of some reference point. Here the reference point is 31st August, and you are preparing yourself in advance of the 31st August. So this time scale t less than 0, that means this region, left side of the 0, t equal to 0, when t less than 0, this particular region, whenever you do something, that means it is time advance. Is it clear? Next, suppose some student is not able to prepare himself. He have given very bad Viva on that present day, and he or she has to uh, prepare himself or herself for the final examination. Then what he or she has to do after giving the viva voce examination at the present day 31st August, now he or she has the knowledge that he or she does not have adequate knowledge. So just after that day, he or she has to start his or her preparation and end after some days. Okay, suppose it is the 1st September and he or she ending his or her preparation at 10th September. Okay, now tell me, what about this? This particular phenomena is occurring after the present time or the reference time. That means after something means it is the delay. So you have now the delayed preparation. You have not given the viva well, so you are preparing yourself in delayed way. So any time instant after t equal to 0, that is if the t is greater than 0, this particular region is called the time delay region. Okay, now can you tell me by applying this conception of time delay and time advancement means left side of the y-axis, this axis is the reference present and left side is the past, that is called the time advance, and right side is the future, so it is the time delay. So now if I draw the step signal in such a way that in case of the ordinary step signal which is started at present ut, I am again repeatedly drawing it, ut, it is started at 0, it has amplitude of 1, ut can be defined as equal to 1 for t greater or equal to 0, 0 t less than 0. Okay, it was the definition of ut, it is started at present or the reference time or t equal to 0th instant. Now if I draw the same signal but the starting time is changed. Now it is started earlier than t equal to 0. Suppose it is started at t equal to minus half. It has the same amplitude 1. Now tell me, is it time advance or time delay? Obviously it is time advance because it is the reference time, present time, you are starting the signal earlier of the present time, so it is the time advance. Okay, in time advance case you have to write your signal t plus half means the starting time. Okay, it was actually it was earlier case t plus 0 because it is started at t equal to 0. Okay, so it is started at t plus half time advance. Remember that for time advance you have to write always the plus sign. So t plus half, it is this new signal which is started at t equal to minus half. It should have the same definition, it should equal to 0, it should be equal to 0 for t plus half greater or equal to 0, or you can say t greater or equal to minus half. Okay, it is the definition. Next, this ut plus half, same signal, should be equal to 0 for t plus half less than 0, which is nothing but t less than minus half. Okay, so it is, this signal is the time advanced unit step signal. Okay, similarly if you draw the unit step signal time delayed version, suppose it was 0 and you are delaying the signal by plus half second, and after that the similar characteristics. Okay, for this case it is obvious that since it is started at the left right side of the amplitude axis, so it is the time delay. Time delay has to be dealt with minus sign here. Okay, that means ut minus half, whatever the value here you should put here, but minus will be there. Okay, for this case definition can be written as ut minus half should be equal to 1 for t minus half greater or equal to 0, which is nothing but t greater or equal to half, and same thing ut minus half should be equal to 0 for, according to this definition, t minus half should be less than 0, or similarly you can say t less than half. Okay, so this is the time advanced signal, this is the time delayed signal. Now let me give you one work. Okay, suppose I want to do some operation on these two signals. Suppose this signal is and this signal and this signal are two inputs of your system, and you have to do simple subtraction operation in between these two signals. Subtraction operation means, how can you subtract these two signals? Very simple, just take each and every time instant and find out the subtraction between the amplitude of the earlier one with the next one. Okay, so first locate what are the extreme points. It is t equal to 0, it is t equal to 0, and it is t equal to plus half, and this one is t equal to minus half. Okay, now look at here, if you subtract this value with this value, here it is 0, here it is 1, so 1 minus 0, that should be equal to 1. Okay, and from t equal to minus half up to 0, all the values of the first signal was 1 and all the values of the second signal was 0. So all ones minus all zeros, you will get 1 value. Is it clear? Okay, next again, from t equal to 0 up to t equal to half second, again the similar condition arrives. That means the first signal was all values 1, the next signal has all values 0, so this amplitudes again will be 1 minus 0, it will be always 1. Okay, but after t equal to plus half, this signal has 1 values and this signal has also 1 value, so 1 minus 1, all the values after t equal to half will be equal to 0. 1 minus 1, 0, so it will end here. Okay, so it is the subtraction, this signal is the subtraction of these two signals. Okay, now try to remember the definition of, or the nature of curve of the unit pulse signal. It was like that, so it is nothing but this signal which we have obtained here. Okay, so it is nothing but the unit pulse signal. Unit pulse signals that can be written as, that means it can be written as simply time advanced version of the unit step signal minus time delayed version of the unit step signal. Okay, remember it is called the unit pulse signal. Next I am going to the next kind of standard signal, which is called sinusoidal signals. Number 6, sinusoidal signals. Now sinusoidal signals are of two types, either cosinusoidal signal or sinusoidal signal. Okay, case 1, suppose I am thinking about the cosinusoidal signal. Cosinusoidal signals, it has simple mathematical form. You have this knowledge from the class 10th trigonometry. Okay, it is the mathematical formulation of the cosinusoidal signal. You know that this omega 0, capital omega 0, is the angular frequency which can be regarded as 2 pi f0. If f0 is the frequency of the signal, it is also written as 2 pi by t. T is the time period. Okay, it is the angular frequency which is in the dimension of radian per second. F0 is the frequency of the signal. It has the dimension of cycles per second, or it can be represented in hertz, same thing. And t is the time period of the signal which has the dimension of second. Okay, A is simply the amplitude of the signal, and what is phi? Phi is the initial phase. It determines from where the signal will start. Okay, let me discuss what is initial phase. First, let me write, if initial phase is equal to 0, that means your signal becomes A cos simple omega 0 t. If your initial phase is greater than 0, that means positive, then your signal becomes phi 0 plus phi, omega 0 t plus phi. And if your phi value is less than 0 or negative, then you can write your signal as omega 0 minus phi. Now tell me, by observing these equations, you can say this signal is a simple signal where the initial value of cosinusoid should start from t equal to 0. It is simple. This signal has some plus phi. What does it mean? Where the plus sign will be there with the time, in the time argument. Plus sign will be there when the signal is advanced. Okay, just like the earlier discussion, plus sign will be there when the signal will be time advanced, and minus sign means signal is time delayed. Okay, so remember this concept and try to draw the signals. Now if you draw the xt, this one, for phi equal to 0, you want to draw the cosinusoidal curve. Cosinusoidal curve is very simple to draw. It has the constant envelope. Its maximum value will be at t equal to 0. It will vary like this way. This is the cosinusoidal signal. Okay, again in the negative t axis also this signal will continue because there is no restriction. So it will be that amplitude will be equal to plus a, this one will be equal to minus a, and this particular position is equal to t equal to 0. That means at t equal to 0, what can we say? Its value should be equal to a. Okay, how can you say that? Suppose cos omega 0 t, that should have the value of 1. When it should have the value of 1? When the cos angle should be equal to 0 degree. It is 0 degree angle. Okay, so by comparing these two, you can say omega 0 t equal to 0, or since the omega 0 is a finite quantity, it is not equal to 0, that's why t should be equal to 0. So that means its value should be 1 at t equal to 0. It is the starting point. After that, t equal to 0 will be repeated. What will be the repetition time? This repetition time from this particular point to this particular point, it is called the time period, because it is a periodic signal, you know that. Now it does not have any complexity. You can easily draw the cosinusoidal signal here. Now complexity arrives when there is a initial phase. Suppose I am going to now, it is already done. Suppose I am going to now this case. That means when the phase is positive. Okay, when the phase is positive, then how can you draw the signal? Obviously, by observing this, you can say that since it is positive, that means it is the time advancement. Okay, so this particular point of signal should be left shifted. Okay, this particular point should be left shifted. Certainly, how much amount I will try to find. So now your signal will be like that. It will continue like the earlier case. ignore the drawing accuracy. Okay, it is positive amplitude. There will be no effect on the amplitude, only effect on the phase. Okay, so now I'm considering this particular point is shifted leftward, that means time advancement. Now I have to find out how much time advancement is occurred. Suppose this instant is equal to t1. Okay, is equal to t1. Now, how can you find out this t1? In this case, cos omega 0 t plus phi equal to 1, it should be equal to 0 degree. Okay, I am finding out the point of time where this 0 degree is there. That means the value of the cosinusoidal function is 1. Okay, so by comparing these two, we can obtain omega 0 t plus phi should be equal to 0. From that, this t is equal to t1 because I am considering about this particular time instant. Okay, so time instant t1 should be equal to minus phi by omega 0. So from this way you can find out the instant from which this particular point will start. It is phi by omega 0, minus phi by omega 0 for the time advancement case or the positive initial phase. For the negative initial phase, similarly you can draw it. Obviously negative sign means in the time argument, if it is the negative sign, then obviously it should be right shifted. Okay, so now your signal will start from some instant right side of the t equal to 0. Suppose it is t equal to t2. It will start like this and continue forever like this, and in the negative axis also it will continue. Okay, now for this case, how can you write? Cos omega 0 t minus phi should be equal to 1. That means it should be corresponding to equal to 0 at this point. This t equal to t2. From that, or you can find out omega 0 t2 minus phi should be equal to 0, or you can write t2 is equal to phi by omega 0. Okay, so that means it is nothing but phi by omega 0. This is how you can find out how much extent the phase delay or phase advancement will affect the time delay or time advancement. It is the time delay and the earlier one was the time advancement. Okay, so phase to time conversion is done by this way. Now the case 2 means the sinusoidal signal. Sinusoidal signal means xt should be written as a sine omega 0 t plus phi. Phi is the initial phase. Again the notations are same. A is the amplitude, omega 0 is the angular frequency, t is the time, and phi is the initial phase. And if the phi equal to 0, then you can write your signal as xt equal to a sine omega 0 t. You can simply draw this omega 0 t, this particular form. Suppose it is this one, you know that the sinusoidal signal has this kind of form. It should be 0 value at t equal to 0. That means it will start like this. Okay, and its amplitude should be a, it is minus a, and in the negative axis of negative time axis also it will continue like this way. Okay, now I am going to the positive initial phase. For that case, obviously time advancement will occur because it is the phase advancement. Okay, so from here it was the t equal to 0 associated with this particular point. For that case, amplitude of the signal was 0. Okay, 0 means sine 0 is equal to 0. Simple. So this point will be shifted leftward now at some point, which is suppose it is t1. Now your signal will be like this, having the same positive and negative amplitudes, only shifted leftward or time advancement. How can you find out how much time advancement occurred due to this phase advancement? You can simply find out by equating these two. Amplitude associated with this point, amplitude is equal to 0, that means it is associated with sine 0 degree. Okay, so simply you can write omega 0, it is t1, okay, equal to 0. That means from that you can find out minus phi by omega 0. Simply it is minus phi by omega 0. It is the same formula as I find in case of the Coulomb-Sinusoidal case. For the negative initial phase, you can write your signal as a sine omega 0 t minus phi. That is the this phase delay will cause the time delay also. So now this point will be shifted rightward. It is shifted to rightward somewhere at t equal to t2. Okay, so now your signal will be like that. It will be left side, it will have the similar thing. How can you find out this t2 value? What will be the time advancement associated with the phase, time delay associated with the phase delay? T2 value you have to find. For that case, you have to equate sine omega 0 t2 minus phi should be equal to 0. That should be equal to 0 degree. This 0 is associated with this amplitude of this signal at t equal to 0. Okay, so omega 0 t2 minus phi should be equated to 0. From where you can find out the time delay. It is phi by omega 0. This is how you can find out the time delay and time advancement associated with the phase delay or phase advancement respectively. Now I am going to the next signal, next kind of signal, that is the exponential signal. Exponential signal. Now exponential signal has simple mathematical form. Either the exponential signal may be real exponential signal or the complex exponential. Case 1 real exponential signal, and case 2 will be the complex exponential signal. Real exponential signal will be like that: a e to the power bt. Here a is the amplitude at t equal to 0, because if you put t equal to 0 here, this particular factor will become 1 and the signal value will be 1. That's why amplitude at t equal to 0 is a. And b is called, it is a technical term, it is called the time constant. Remember, the time constant. Depending on the value of the time constant, suppose time constant is greater than 0. Okay, that means the positive time constant. Then how will be the nature of this particular signal? It is question number 1. How can you draw this signal, sketch this signal? Simple. First locate where the value of the signal will be at t equal to 0. T equal to 0 value is, if you put t equal to 0 here, you will get the value of a, and rest of the signal can be drawn through this a, and it will be exponentially increasing because b is the particular value which is positive. So if you increase the t value, since the b is positive, so it will follow the value of the t and exponential curve will exponentially increase. And if you have this b value, time constant value, which is negative, then how will be the curve? Again the same thing, locate the amplitude at t equal to 0 and it will have the exponential decay. It will pass through this value at t equal to 0. Okay, it will have the exponential decay like this. And this, if the b value is equal to 0, that means time constant is 0, then simply your graph will become constant, because see that if you put b equal to 0, then this factor exponential variation will become totally time invariant. That means it will not vary with time, because this factor will become 1. So 1 means this particular signal is now a constant signal having the value of a. Okay, it will not vary with time, it will remain constant forever, starting from minus infinity up to plus infinity. Okay, case 2 is the complex exponential signal. Complex exponential signal is regarded as j omega 0 t. What is j? It is equation number 2. J means root minus 1 You know that what is J from the complex variables concept, from your 12th standard algebra concept. Now you have to define all other things. It is the amplitude of the signal at t equal to 0. It is the frequency of the signal. Omega 0 means the frequency, you know that, and t is the time. J is the complex variable. Okay. Now how can you decompose this signal? You can decompose this signal by this way: from the conception of the complex variables of 12 standard complex variable. From the knowledge of the 12th standard algebra, you can decompose this signal by this way: cos omega 0 t plus j sin omega 0 t, and real part of your signal will be simple a cos omega 0 t, and imaginary part of the signal will be a sin omega 0 t. Okay, and you know that in the complex plane you can simply draw the phasor graph. It is the real axis, and it is the imaginary axis. It is a complex plane. Your vector will have the magnitude of a and angle of omega 0 t, and it will rotate anti-clockwise as the time changes. From 0 to at t equal to 0 it will be there, and it will rotate anti-clockwise. It is the conception of the phasor diagram. Next kind of signal, number 8, is the exponentially rising or decaying sinusoidal signal. Sinusoidal means either sinusoidal or cosinusoidal. I will show you only for the sinusoidal case. Cosinusoidal, it will be a similar concept. Its mathematical form is like a to the power bt, that means one real exponential term multiplied by sine omega 0 t. Okay, that means it is the multiplication of two signals. One is the exponential signal, this factor, and another is the sinusoidal signal, this factor. That means it will have its time varying nature just like the sinusoidal signal, but its amplitude should decay or rise depending on the exponential term. If your b value, that means the time constant value, is positive, it will be exponentially rising amplitude, and if b value is less than 0, then it will be exponentially decaying amplitude. Let us consider first the exponentially rising amplitude. For that case, envelope will be just like the exponential curve, and sinusoidal quantity will start like that. That means it is the actual time variation. So the amplitude of the sinusoidal signal is varying exponentially, and for the time constant less than 0, your signal will be exponentially decaying. Amplitude is exponentially decaying. It is your sinusoidal variation in the right hand side and left hand side, like this. Okay, if b value is equal to 0, then this exponential term will be equal to 1, and it will become a simple sinusoidal signal. This concept is valid for also cosinusoidal signal. In place of the sinusoid, you have to write the cosinusoid, and you can draw the corresponding sketches. Next is another very important signal, that is called the signum signal. Signum signal. It has a bit of applications in communications. Signum signal is denoted by SGN T. Okay, it has the definition equal to 1 for t greater than 0. It should be equal to 0 for t equal to 0, and it should be equal to -1 for t less than 0. Okay, so you can easily draw it in piecewise sketches. Signum signal, for t greater than 0, it has the value of 1. Okay, it is 1. At t equal to 0, here it is t equal to 0, it should be decayed to 0, and for t less than 0, it has the value of -1, -1. Okay, it will be the waveform of signum signal. Next signal is another very important signal which has lots of application in communication. Sync, SINC signal. Sync signal is denoted by SINCT. It is nothing but a sinusoidal signal sin t divided by t for all -infinity to +infinity. That means t's range is starting from -infinity to +infinity. It has the time variation like this: xt equal to sync t. It will be just like the sinusoidal signal, continues forever in the right side, as well as it will have the similar nature in the left side also. But this decay, see that this particular signal is nothing but a sinusoidal signal multiplied by this 1 by t term. Okay, 1 by t is a very rapidly decaying factor here. If you raise the value of t, it will rapidly decay. Okay, that means this envelope is following 1 by t decay. Okay, so it is all about the sync signal. Next signal is the Gaussian signal. Gaussian signal. It has the form, it is denoted by GAT. Okay, Gaussian signal. It has the form e to the power minus a square. A is any constant term multiplied by t square. That means e to the power minus a square t square, and it is valid for the time range of -infinity to +infinity. It has the time variation like this, GAT. It has this kind of time variation, and this value is equal to 1. See that amplitude is nothing here. That means its factor is equal to 1 actually. That's why it's if you put here t equal to 0, then you will obtain 1 value. That means at this point of time t equal to 0, you will have 1 value, and all other cases of t, it will vary like this way. And the last one, last standard signal, it is the triangular pulse signal. Okay, let me draw the sketch of triangular pulse signal. After that, I will establish the mathematical representation of it by using simple conception of coordinate geometry. Okay, so it is look like this triangular like nature. It is 0, it is minus a second, it is plus a second, and this amplitude at t equal to 0 is equal to 1. It is the nature of the triangular pulse signal. Now how can you mathematically represent this triangular pulse signals? Let us first consider the left hand side. That means simply consider this side from minus a to 0. That means I am considering the time duration minus a to 0. Okay, this one is 1. Suppose it is x1t. Now first look at the coordinates of these 2 points. This one is the starting point, this one is the ending point. So coordinates will be minus a0 here, and here the coordinate will be 0 1. Okay, so now find out the equation of straight line by using these two extreme coordinates. Okay, so this one will be, it is suppose xt. So you can use the general formula of straight line. How can you find out the equation of straight line? By using two coordinates through which the straight line is passing through. So you can simply find out xt, that is a y, and it is the x-axis. Okay, that is the t. Okay, so y minus y1, here will be some slope, here t is x, actually x minus x1, it is x1 y1, it is x2 y2 suppose. So it is x1 means it is 0, and here you have to write y1 minus y2, y2 is 0 here, x1 it is 0 minus x1 x2, sorry, x2 is minus a here, so it will be plus a. So you can write the equation of straight line like this way. It is nothing but 1 by a multiplied by t. So xt is becoming 1 plus t by a. Simple. It is equation number 1. It is for the left hand side of the triangle. Now try to find out the equation of the curve for the right hand side of the triangle. Here again this one is 1, this particular point, and this is plus a, and I am considering about the time period starting from 0 ending at plus a. Okay, that means it was for minus a to 0, and now I am considering this time period. So again apply the same procedure. It is xt 0 1, it is the coordinate of this point, and this point has the coordinate of a0. So by using these two coordinates of these 2 points through which this straight line is passing through, find out the equation of this straight line. xt minus y1, it is x1 y1, it is x2 y2. So xt y1, here there will be the slope, and x minus t minus x1, and here it will be y1 minus y2, x1 minus x2. So you simplify it, 1, this one will be minus 1 by a. So you can write this t by a, minus t by a. So it is the equation of straight line for the right side of the triangle, equation 2, and it is valid for 0 to a. Okay, if you combine these two equations, you can write xt is equal to 1 minus modulus of t by a it is for modulus of t less or equal to a. Okay, what does it mean? Modulus of t less or equal to a means when t is greater than 0, that means this side, when t is greater than 0, then this modulus of t is becoming t, okay, positive t. It is less or equal to a, that will be that, and it should be obviously greater than 0. And whenever you consider t less than 0, that means this side, then t less than 0 means t negative, modulus of t is minus of t less or equal to t. From here you are getting, which is nothing but t greater or equal to t greater or equal to minus a, okay, and it is nothing but minus a t less than 0. So for both of these cases this equation will be there. For this case t equal to positive, that means modulus of t will be equal to t, and here it will be negative, that means in minus t, here modulus of t will be equal to minus t, and this plus sign will be positive. So by this way you can relate these two equations, okay. And another thing is that beyond these 2 points, when t is greater than a or t is less than minus a, for these regions this particular signal is 0. So what does it mean? It should be equal to 0 for modulus of t greater than a, okay. So it is the definition, of the triangular pulse signal, by which using this method you can also find out the equations or the mathematical representations of different other kinds of signals also. Suppose you have given a signal like this, it is symmetric triangle. Suppose you have given like this xt, suppose starting from b ending at a, and this amplitude is a. For that case also individually find out the equation of this one and individually find out the equation of this one, and now combine, and you will obtain the mathematical representation of that signal, okay. So these are all about the standard signals or the elementary signals, and in my next class I will start the operations on signals, okay. Till now, thank you.